Welcome to Dames Bond with Mary B. Professional and personal insights provided by women.
She's a Windy City native that knows how to blow a lot of wind, whether she's passionate about a cause or pissed off for all the right reasons. She calls herself surly. I call her fierce. She's Elizabeth Lessner. She's the CEO of the Columbus Food League, a family of 6 restaurants. With all of her restaurants, she's most proud of her recycling efforts at all of her restaurants, creating Eartha Limited. She helps restaurants have 0 waste. Okay, Liz, it's time to get down to business. Welcome to Dames Bond with Mary B. Liz.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad that you're here. We have a few questions for you.
Okay.
The public wants to know.
Oh, dear.
Okay. So many people have big ideas that can go far, but they need capital, right? And finding it is really, really hard. And oftentimes small businesses want to get a partner because that's the way to do it. And I know you've had many, many partners, and you've had some successes or not. I want to know, what should small businesses who feel like they can grow, what should they be looking for in a partner, and how to avoid some pitfalls?
Some pitfalls. I think it's very much like a marriage or any other relationship that you would enter. Whether you're dating someone, whether you're married to somebody, whether someone is in your family, you usually have really defined roles and boundaries. One of the first things I do when I set up a new business with my partners is we form a buyout agreement through our attorney. So before we even start the business, we figure out how we're going to get out of this business. We define roles really well. Since my background and experiences in running restaurants, if my partner's isn't, it's really important to me that I'm the person entrusted to, say, run the restaurant. And if my business partner has other skills that they're bringing to the company, that we define what they're doing so that we're not fighting with one another. It's really best to bring someone into the business who complements you. So whatever your strengths are, maybe somebody who's good at your weaknesses is always a really good match.
All right, Liz, you have a knack for conceptualizing restaurants and with unique menus and themes. So what challenges do you face when marketing your unique experience to customers?
We go into densely populated urban neighborhoods. That's where all of our restaurants are. And I look on the block and I see what's missing. And I think if I worked or lived across the street, what options are here and what options aren't here. And I think we try to fill a niche that doesn't exist. And then we also like to take it up a notch and put a fun spin on it, so that we're complementing a neighborhood and not just coming down and throwing our stuff down and, whatever. We try really to work with the neighborhood already, so we don't have to market that much. When you go into retail, it's really important that you engage your community. I mean, the first thing I do is I find the neighborhood association, I find the business association, whatever neighborhood affiliations, communities exist, you want to introduce yourself, because sometimes it's scary. For example, I sell alcohol. That might be scary to some people, new restaurant and bars coming in. So you want to make sure that the neighborhood wants you, that they're comfortable with what you're doing. Maybe you come up with good neighbor agreements about your hours and how you operate things. We have a good neighbor agreement downtown at one of our locations where we don't sell high alcohol beer to go, because we had a problem with people with, coming and buying it and creating problems within the neighborhood. So it's really important, retail-wise especially, to get to know your neighborhood and to serve them first.
Mm-hmm. That's a good tip. And I think we all need one other from you. So managing a relationship and managing a business. You have multiple locations, as I do. You're in a relationship, as I am. And I go crazy sometimes. How do you do it? What's one piece of advice that you can give us all managing all these different things?
I always tell people to make sure that you're scheduling time for your partner the same way that you would schedule time for a business meeting, for a lunch, for anything important. In my relationship, we have Sunday Fun Day, and Sundays are sacred to my husband and I. And if we decide together we want to do something and go somewhere and make plans, but I would never schedule anything on Sunday unless it was a complete emergency without him. So we try to do that. It's also really important when you start up your business, and especially when you're really struggling financially, to take vacations. People don't do that, but you really need that time with your partner just to focus on one another and make sure that you're taking care of each other first.
So there you have it. You've got some fabulous business tips from the fierce and surly Liz Lessner. You can find out more about Liz at the websites on the bottom of the screen. Thank you for being on the show, Liz.
Oh, yeah.
And as we say, when dames bond,
dames thrive.
Thank you for watching this episode of Dames Bond with Mary B. Relato. For more great information, visit the Dames Bond website at damesbond.com. Also browse the other shows found right here at Columbus Biz TV Shows.